Does this poster truly claim that Cordona has a ghost? Unholy howls keeping you inside at night? Luigi can help. All ghosts gone. Meet on southern pier of the Silverton Port. Donations gratefully accepted. This town loves the supernatural, but all I see is another scam to disprove.
The world shrivels under a skeptic's eye. That's why you're so sullen, Sherry. You leave no room for delight in the magical.
I delight in making the unknown known. Let us begin by asking someone about the poster and then pay this Luigi a visit at the port. May I ask you something?
I don't think I'm rich enough to talk to you, sir.
Not much brandy was spilled when the bottle broke. Someone had drunk most of it already. Not enough blood for a murder, but plenty to suggest fists were flying in a collie shangles. I wonder if Luigi made it himself.
I reckon the ghost is responsible for all this mess.
Don't jump to conclusions. Until we locate any evidence to the contrary, we shall continue to exclude the supernatural. Let me concentrate, John. The ghost hunter's stand was here. Someone stormed up angrily.
Let me take it from here. It was the ghost of Cordona, a horrific being, formless, with evil eyes and glassy skin that shimmered like a nebula. It lurched towards its foe.
No, John, it was human. We're staring at the evidence of a scuffle between men.
A little imagination never hurt anybody.
If a mark realizes they've been had, that the fear was baseless, the money defrauded, they will likely return to voice their displeasure. And thus Luigi took a beating. Fools should have at least moved locations between scams. After the attack, he fled bloodied and bruised.
I am the ghost of Christmas yet to come, Sherry. I see that you'll spend it all alone.
Looks like he crawled that way. The empty bottle suggested intoxication. This vomit confirms it.
Well, if you were tailing supernatural creatures for a living, wouldn't you start drinking?
Thanks to you, I am often forced to tale the supernatural, and yet I'm still sober. Mostly. There's a bottle missing. After expelling all the alcohol from his stomach, it seemed he was compelled to replenish it.
Perhaps because booze eases the pain of his lonely and dangerous life as a ghost hunter.
You need to stop reading the Penny Dreadfuls. He threw the bottle here. We must be near his hideout.
Maybe we just leave, Sherry. There is no need to disturb the ghost hunter from his beauty sleep.
Looks like an appropriate home for a ghost hunter.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Handcrafted, actually rather beautiful work. An eerie and unsettling sound. So this is where all the money was going. The painter definitely has an aesthetic. So you see, John, nothing supernatural, just a drunken lowlife fooling superstitious sailors for a living. You can't argue with the truth. The truth will out no matter what one does. You can embellish it all you like, but you're just delaying the inevitable.
Well, he can delay it no more.
Donations,
After what happened at the port,
presumes?
this scam won't work again. Look, the cutest thing you'll see all day. Hamlet staged by children.
Oh, so it has taken root.
What's taken root? As I recall, when we were growing up, this theatre didn't welcome kids.
You've forgotten, John. Come to the back entrance and I'll refresh your memory.
Yet I still see nothing.
You need to focus, my dear friend. Watch me. Here was our glorious stage. Ring any bells?
Ah, we don't need to dwell on the past, Sherry.
And Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, taking poison. What was the name of that girl? Oh, Georgina, of course. She was our neighbour.
Oh, I remember her. She liked you.
And there you were, the best supporting actor. My silent scene partner, my Yorick. Your presence inspired me and brought me to tears.
Yet it hurt to know that's all I could be. Inspiration. I couldn't even play the king's ghost. How's that for irony? To be or not to be? Indeed.
I know why you wanted to forget. The show forced you to confront your limits, except no one else would ever see you but me. Why do you think I cried? In the end, the audience was thrilled. I can still hear their roars after the final act.
You were so pleased with yourself when the theatre director came down to admire your work.
He applauded. A huge gesture from a man for whom children on stage was an anathema.
One small step for a man, one giant leap for students of the dramatic arts.
Childhood is a time of naivety. I cannot now imagine seeking a career as an actor, drinking wine all day and gaily treading the boards at night.
Yet you often pretend to be someone else in your search for the truth. You can't act like this side of you disappeared completely.
Quite. This, above all, to thine own self be true.
Salty breeze, old ruins, dusty roads. Do you recall clambering over these walls as a child?
Perhaps. Did we find something at the top?
Salty breeze, old ruins, dusty... roads. Do you recall clambering over these walls as a child? Ah, it was an old skull. What a lucky find for a pair of young adventurers.
It was easier to climb these walls back then. Not merely because we're older, but because the ruins are too. Of course. You said we needed to bury him. Do you remember where?
Well, one would think burying a human skull would stick in the mind, but somehow... no.
An old man was standing here as we passed.
Oh yes, I remember his face as we flew by with a skull in our hands.
He looked as shocked as our grisly companion.
Nothing ever bothers an old Ottoman backgammon player.
This wasn't the right place for a funeral. We were looking for somewhere more appropriate.
Funny, nowadays you love putting men behind bars.
You're a fellow of infinite jest, aren't you? The water level was higher back then.
I remember swimming through this mire while trying not to breathe in the horrible odour.
This is where we buried it. It seems that with time, our friend has emerged once more.
Sherry, I think we're getting the hang of this.
The skull is ancient. Its likeliest owner was one of the Knights Hospitaller who died during the siege of the fortress. I remember now, you said this skull was my father's.
A child's imagination is a powerful tool. You needed this. A burial process of your own. A ritual so you could begin to grieve.
Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. I felt so alone back then, John. Uncertain. Abandoned by my father.
I know.
The skull wasn't his, though it may as well have been. In the earth, all of us look alike. But putting this man to rest, it did help.
I'm glad, Sherry.
I find myself rather tempted to keep it. If not for sentimental value, then it's archaeological merit.